Hey folks, Nero here. For whatever reason, my mic was acting kind of weird for this recording. So as a result, I sound kind of like I'm recording at the bottom of a pickle barrel, which is underneath an entire swimming pool's worth of water. I tried my best to try and mitigate and fix some stuff, but it's still going to sound kind of weird. Sorry, hopefully it's dealt with by next week.
Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticlowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
And I'm your other host, Audrey.
Don't you just hate it? One of your exes rolls into town for no other reason other than to just cause drama.
I don't know. That's a weird power dynamic.
It's kind of weird.
I'm not sure I like the idea of these two in a relationship.
Don't you hate it when your ex holds your annoying new coworker at gunpoint several times and also blows up an abandoned factory? I think this is a very relatable happening.
Yeah, and drives your new coworker off a cliff.
Several times. Hey, sideswiped him. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Hey,
yeah.
We watched 3 episodes this week, folks. Because, guess what? We've got the first official 2-parter.
That's right, yeah. It's
and
the same.
only, I believe.
So, you'll never get 3 parts from us again, suckers.
Not for this series, anyway. Yeah, there have been episodes that follow directly from each other, obviously. The tidal wave episodes all sort of followed up on each other, and the first 3 also formed kind of a loose 3-parter, but this is the one that actually has the denotations of parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, and those are largely going to continue to happen at this point.
Yeah, we are out of the town of new guy just dropped. Now it is time for plot.
Yeah, so now that we're in like the plot stuff, it's much less episodic. It's much more, this is a continuing plot going on.
And with the addition of the 2 characters in this 2-parter, I think we're pretty much done with the cast. I think everyone is here pretty much. With a few one-off exceptions.
It's just like having sex. Rampage is here.
Is that his Japanese name?
Rampage, yes. Wait till you hear.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know who the other one is in English even, so I can't even say. Wait till you hear what Blank's name is because it's good.
Well, before we can even get to that spicy past 2-parter, we got to talk about some. We got to talk about episode. What is this? 28?
30.
Episode 30. Listen, 2B has got me all fucked up. We're talking about episode 30 first, which in the dub is Runaway.
Escape into hiding in the sub.
Not to be confused with the air defense team member Runway, who is the middle part of the Star Saber.
Or the hit Carly Rae Jepsen song "Run Away with Me."
I should make that the intro for this episode.
Yeah, perfect.
So we start off here, and in the dub at least, the narrator gives us a quick recap on what happened last time, which is namely, they got a really big gun, and everyone's really afraid of it, and Optimus is very reticent about actually using it.
Yeah, so we get just like the last minute of the last episode to open up this episode again.
A tsunami in a distant country.
So we don't have any voiceover over it, but it's literally just like the last 30 seconds or whatever of the last episode before it goes to the title screen. And when we get out of the title screen, Megatron's having a self-care day at a Korean spa.
That's right. He's actually having his repairs done by a bunch of minicons. He's sitting on his throne, he's got guys all over and kind of welding him back together. And he's just sort of like grousing about the fact that he lost another goddamn weapon.
Oh, it's a very different mood in the sub. The reason I said that he's having a self-care day at the Korean spa is because all these microns are working on him, and he goes, "Oh, this feels so pleasant." Like he's having like a full body massage. It's like, all right, bud.
And Cyclonus and Demolisher come up and are just like, what the hell's going on here? I don't think you're working the minicons too hard. And Cyclonus just tells Demolisher to shut up, as is their usual dynamic.
And then Thrust shows up, and Thrust is like, hey, you know that Coldplay song Yellow? Megatron, look at the stars. Look how they shine for you. And all the things that you do. And we were all yellow.
He's pulling this fucking court astrologer shit again.
It's
weird. It never works, Thrust. You always get proven wrong.
It's also like a really weird trait for Thrust to have.
I honestly love how just bizarre Thrust is. He's this like... He's just kind of a really weird guy. But he basically tells Megatron, all right, listen.
He's fucking Rasputin.
He is!
Like, that's what he is. He's Rasputin. Because everything about him suggests that he's, like, really cold and, like, logical. Not to, like, the degree of, like, Shockwave or Soundwave and other continuities. But still, like, he is this, like, strategic mastermind. And then he's like, hey, but you're a Sagittarius, so...
He is Rasputin. I gotta make, like a fan cam of him with that Boney M song.
Yeah, exactly. Thrust you in.
Oh, I don't like that. So yeah, he basically like walks up and says, "All right, now I know that I lost again, but you got to admit I wasn't expecting the gun. But I promise you this, Megatron, I'm gonna get you that gun, and we're gonna wipe those Autobots off the face of the earth."
Is that Optimus? He has a gun. Blam blam.
And Megatron this time is a little bit less convinced of Thrust's effectiveness. He's like, yeah, whatever. Just do your job. And that's when Thrust says, your fucking birth star is shining brightly. And Megatron's like, what the hell are you talking about? Always with the stars.
He's getting into Gothic Lolita with Baby the Stars Shine Bright.
So down at Autobase, there's a debate going on. It is Optimus Prime versus everyone else, and all of the other Autobots, especially Jetfire, are like, "Let us use the gun. Let us deploy the gun. We can use the Requiem Blaster to fucking wipe them shits out." And Optimus is like, "Okay, I understand that everyone wants this war to be over very badly. I would like to ask the Minicons what they think first."
He doesn't get that far in the sub. Everyone is like, all four of them, literally everyone around them, except for Ratchet. So it starts off with Silverbolt, and then Hot Rod, and then Grap, and I think not
Jetfire.
Yes, oh, right, yeah, Jetfire. Yeah, sorry, it starts off with Jetfire, rather. It starts off with Jetfire, then Hot Rod, then Silverbolt, and then Grap. All are like, can we do this? Like, it would just... Can we
have a little of a super weapon as a treat?
Yeah, it's like we could just end the war right now. Like, there's literally no risk to doing this. And Ratchet is the one who like sort of sees... Optimus is like sort of Kermit facing. He's like, And Ratchet's like, what do you say, Optimus? I mean, like, we could end the war. And Optimus is like,
being a leader involves weighing a lot of pros and cons. Pro, you stop Megatron. Con, Requiem Blaster bad.
Yeah, con, you initiate the draft.
God. So then, after Optimus says, alright, well, before I decide anything, I want to consult the Minicons who actually make the goddamn gun to see what they actually think about it. And then we hard cut to all of the kids smuggling the space team out of the base.
Yeah, Rad's like, on God, we're gonna get you out of here.
Because they have already been talking to the space team, and the space team would rather not be the Requiem Blaster, and would instead like to sort of isolate themselves from this war entirely so no one gets hurt.
If the Autobots asked me to be the strongest weapon in the universe, I would simply say no thank you.
And go to do some fucking cottagecore bullshit. So yeah, Rad is just like, we're just gonna get them out of here for a while until things die down. It'll be fine. We can hide them in a safe place. And of course, we have yet again, we're dressing these minicons up in big funny clothes to make them look like humans, sort of.
So before that, there's a quick cut back to like all the all the Autobots, and Optimus is like, okay, we need to like talk to them, and he's like, Prime, go get the others. And then Prime goes away and comes back 2 seconds later, and it's like, Prime? Yes, Optimus? Where are the Microns?
Well, yeah, and Jetfire still can't understand minicons, interestingly enough. He's a bit too high-headed for that, because Sparkplug is just waving his arms around wildly and panicking, and Optimus is like, oh man, that's bad. And Jetfire's just like, what the fuck is he saying? I don't get this shit. I'm too dumb to understand minicons. But yeah, they're gone. We cut to a bus stop.
Oh, and they are dressed, the drip on these Microns right now.
It's great. They look like a fucking, like a new wave band, almost.
I thought they looked like a 90s hip-hop band, personally.
Oh god, that too. When did the Space Team dropping that new hot single? So, we cut to the bus stop, or the bus station, rather. Fred is writing a goodbye note to his mom. Now, I want to know what it says in the sub.
He is listing all of the food that his mother makes.
Okay, good. That is this.
Yeah.
I thought that was a dub joke.
Nope.
Okay, so Billy grabs it and starts reading it, and I want to quote some of this beautiful farewell. All of the foods you have made me thank you for all the foods you've made me over the years. Your spaghetti and meatballs are sublime. The sauce a haunting blend of herbs and spices, and the things you can do with a pot roast are inspirational.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I didn't put down word for word, but it is very, very similar in the original version. Yeah.
Billy just reads that and goes, "What the fuck is this shit? What are you doing, Fred?" And he's like, "Listen, we're not going to be gone forever." He apparently thinks it's not going to be that long of a time, that's optimistic, Billy.
Well, so it is slightly different in the sub, because what he says is, we're just going to find a place to hide the Microns, stash them there, and then we're going to come back.
Okay, yeah, I don't think they make this point.
Yeah, so, like, that is his point. He's like, it's like, we're coming back. We're hiding them, but we're coming back.
That seems like a better plan than what, they don't make that point too clear in the dub. I might have just missed it, though. But we cut over, Payload, I believe it is. It's kind of hard to tell them apart when they're all, they're all decked out in their outfits here. I remember it's Payload who strikes up a conversation with this very flashily dressed girl and her dog, who does not like this robot.
Oh man, I'm obsessed with this woman. Actually, she's
really funny.
She's bringing the himbo energy we need in 2022.
Yeah, so she's like, "Oh, don't worry about my dog. He's just excitable." And Payload, beeps and boops, and then she just was like, "Oh, you must be from out of town. Where did you say you live again?" And Payload, beeps and boops. He's like, "That's so pretty. Can you say it again?" Do you want a cookie?
Yeah, she's like, "You hungry? I got some biscuits." And like Rad rushes over and is like, "Nope, he's on a diet. Gotta go bye."
Bye. Okay, so it's the same joke in the sub. He also says he's on a diet in the dub. So yeah, he tracks Payload off. So the Autobots, we cut back to Autobase, and it's fucking, it's the episode of SpongeBob where Sandy's trying to find him. They weren't in the fucking warp room. Well, look again. They weren't in the training area. Well, look again. Boy just goes, "They're not in my thoughts." Well, think again.
Wait, really?
No. They're just like, the kids are gone.
Yeah.
I don't think that episode had aired yet.
So, yeah, so they're like, well, I guess we need to go out and search. This fucking sucks.
Yeah, Optimus is very annoyed by all of this. So they're going on in the city to look for them. Except for Jetfire and Scavenger. Now, Jetfire is very annoying. He's like, why do I have to stay behind? And I think it's Scavenger who says, bro, you're a fucking space shuttle.
Yeah. Yeah, Devastator's like, one, you would call so much attention to yourself. I don't know how you cannot understand this. Two, you're new on Earth and you don't understand humans at all. So, shut up and stay sit.
And I assume Scavenger is staying on the base because he's lazy.
Or because someone with some authority has to babysit Jetfire.
Technically, Jetfire outranks him.
I know, but, like, someone with some authority, like, he's not gonna listen to fucking Ratchet.
Oh, absolutely not. You need someone there who can do a fucking judo throw on him if necessary.
Right.
So we cut out over to the bus where the Minicons and the kids are. They're seemingly alone, and the space team are just sort of asking about various things they see as they pass. They're very curious about Earth and want to learn about it.
I wanna know, can you show me?
So but then Hotshot eventually finds them. He's the first one to get there. He kind of sees them in the back seat. He's like, I found them. I've got a lock on them. This entire time, up on the moon, Thrust has been doing some hacking. We do a little trolling.
Yeah.
He has hacked into a defense satellite to track down the Minicons, and Demolisher and Cyclonus are like, well, I guess humans are good for something after all if they have a fucking surveillance state that we can use.
This is just like Bumblebee 2018.
This is just like Revenge of the Fallen. This keeps happening. Decepticons keep using surveillance infrastructure. Almost like we shouldn't have that shit. Weird. Anyway, Thrust finds them. He's like, ooh, got him.
Got him.
So he flies down there.
Well, first of all, so, like, Hot Rod, before Thrust flies down there, Hot Rod messages all of the other Autobots.
Yes.
And he's
yeah,
like...
got him.
And yeah, he's also like, got him. And so all of them converge on this bus, and that's what Thrust sees. He's like, why are they all hauling this bus? Oh,
right.
I think I have a funny feeling about that.
Specifically, it's because Hotshot gets stuck behind a train. A train, he's experiencing the joys of commuting. But Optimus is able to sort of pull in from a side lane and start chasing the bus, and that's what Thrust sees. Like, hey, why is Optimus chasing that bus?
Oh, really? In the sub, it is very much that all of them are there that he notices. So it's before Optimus gets separated that he notices them. But anyway, so Hot Rod converges everyone on their situation, and they're all like trying to figure out what to do with it, and Crap's like, when we get them back, we're gonna have to lock them up. And it's like, no, Crap, you can't put them in solitary confinement. You're missing the entire point of this entire excursion.
The kids with the Minicon smokescreen? Yes!
Also, all of them are really just out here driving around with no drivers. In, like,
they are.
Heavy traffic. Very clearly empty vehicles.
Come on, guys. You gotta invent hollow matter avatars soon. This is getting out of hand.
555, come on now.
So, yeah, eventually, they sort of lose Optimus in a fucking cornfield. He just drives right by, completely loses them. All of the other Autobots are stuck in traffic, except for Blur, who takes the side streets, because he's cool and knows things. But none of them find them.
That's because, so they walk through this cornfield, and it's like, where are we going? And Alexa points ahead, and she's like, there. And at the end of the cornfield is this, like, derelict house. And she's like, they will be safe here, there's no way for anyone to find it. And Jim immediately goes, fuck yeah, we're here, we're safe, I brought snacks, I brought a grill, like a George Foreman. let's fucking have some lunch. And he's like looking around and there's no plugs. And Alexa just looks at him and goes, so like what part of off-grid aren't you getting here exactly?
I hope these kids are up on their tetanus shots.
They're fine.
This place is very rusty.
Yeah, Billy's like, where the fuck did you even find this place? And Alexa and like Rad are like, oh, we went to like a summer camp nearby and we used to play here. What?
All right. Yeah, sure. Thanks. That makes sense for Rad. Rad's weird.
But like all
Alexis
three of them
is also
did.
kind of weird.
Yeah,
Oh
all three.
God.
And Carlos is Carlos.
Carlos is Carlos. So they go about setting up some Home Alone style traps. They got a fucking can on a string security system. They got like mirrors pointed at windows so you can see out of them. The whole shebang. They're getting ready to fight off them wet bandits.
Yes.
But are they ready to fight off the jet bandit?
Bow, 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 bow.
So everyone is frolicking, and Billy finds a cowboy outfit, which I'm sure is just filled with lice.
You bet. I hope you get the same joke that you got in the Japanese. You better, because if you got it in the Japanese and not the English, I would riot.
Is it him saying, I'm Billy the Kid?
Yeah.
Good. Yep.
Yep.
I got it. So everyone's having a great time doing some Minicon cottagecore stuff around here.
There's
the Astroscope is like chasing a butterfly.
Yeah.
And Payload is frolicking. Someone made him a flower necklace.
It's so good. It's like a full-on lay. There's a quick cut back up to the Decepticon base where Ironhide is looking for Thrust. He's like, hey, Thrust, any news? And Thrust is gone. And Ironhide's like, man, where did Squidface go? And everyone is calling him Squidface now. I love it.
Good.
It's good.
Perfect.
And it's accurate.
The funniest moment of someone calling him Squidface or Squidhead in the dub is in a few episodes. Because, like, eventually, everyone also just starts calling him fucking Squidhead.
Sorry, Squidhead, not Squidface. Sorry, Squidhead.
Yeah, so, it turns out where Squidhead went was down to this fucking field. And he's like, I found you. Now give me those minicons. What I love is, first you hear the cans rattle, and then they look up and Thrust is standing there. Almost as if this wouldn't have really helped against any Decepticons.
Yeah, who would have thought?
And Thrust is like, alright, give me the Requiem Blaster minicons and I'll be on my way. And then, it's time for some fucking Home Alone shenanigans. They shine a mirror in his face, which works.
Yeah, so first of all, they all retreat back inside this derelict house again, and Thrust, like, he laughs like fucking SpongeBob. His entire, or like Brooks from One Piece, his entire head moves up and down.
He's having a great time.
Yeah, he's like, his entire body moves. It looks so stupid, and then he just like peels the top of the house off.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I'm gonna get you. And then they shine a light in his face. And this is when he starts getting mad. He's like, all right, I was just, kind of having a good time here, but I guess it's time to get to fucking work.
Yeah,
and he just, like, smashes the house.
We were just having a laugh, mate. So before he, like, totally smashes the house, they, like, get out for a bit, and they're like, hey, have you ever seen the beginning to Final Destination 2? And release, like, a bunch of logs that he trips over.
Yes. I didn't see the set of the log trap, but that's really good. He just starts rolling around on them like he's a fucking stooge.
Yeah, and
Decepticon's greatest tactician, one of the most dangerous minds on Cybertron.
And it really, so by the time he's like really devolved down into like a fuck strategy, fuck these kids, fuck them kids, and just like smashing shit to pieces, it like really falls into one of my favorite tropes ever, where it's like you have this cold strategic mind who just gets so fucking mad that he goes fucking ballistic.
And so he's looming over there and he's like, alright, I'm just gonna fucking grab him and squish you, but then we get something we haven't had in quite a bit of time, which I missed a lot.
Honk!
Honk, honk, and then Optimus rams him. He just fucking hits him from the side. Optimus used to do that all the fucking time, and I missed it.
It's a classic.
Yeah, so Thrust gets fucking owned. Optimus is here. And so Thrust is... Weirdly enough, Thrust doesn't seem to have any weaponry in robot mode. He has to transform into jet mode to start shooting at Optimus, which is good because he's a VTOL, but also it seems very unwieldy.
Also, it's good for him that Optimus just spends 10 seconds staring at him when he's in point-blank range. So that he can actually blast Optimus into a wall.
He's looking at him like, does his head get bigger? What is going on up there? It's like fucking Kuzco looking at the spinach between Yzma's teeth.
His head looks like that. It's full of secrets.
Every time I look at this guy, I notice something new and horrible. Oh fuck, he's shooting me. But it's okay because Optimus makes a hay flashbang. With exhaust.
I mean, I'm not even sure he does it on purpose. He just kind of like falls back and like kicks up hay, and it blinds all of Thrust sensors. He's a very sensitive robot.
He is. So he gets blinded by a hay, and he transforms into robot mode. But then Optimus goes super mode, and he leaves immediately. He knows I'm not fucking with that. I've seen what happens.
Nope.
To other guys. I know. Listen, I know my limits, and my limits are I can't fight Super Optimus. Goodbye. So the danger has passed. The jet bandits have been driven off, and it's time. Yeah, everyone has converged on this farm.
Yeah, finally, all the other Autobots who are stuck in traffic arrive.
Everyone's kind of scolding them a little bit for like, you really shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have ran off with that.
Yeah, they're like, folks, we've had fun here today. But for real, don't play games with the world's biggest, most powerful weapon. And Rad's like, we're not playing games. We're saving war refugees. You're the ones playing games with lives.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you were gonna use them regardless without any fucking regard for how they felt about it. And Optimus is like, no, you're right. I wanted to ask them about it before even using them. We will never, force them to deploy unless we have their unless they wish to. We're not like the Decepticons. So yeah, for now, the space team stays on base. Blaster's not coming out.
Yeah,
which is a good job, Optimus. You have a moral backbone.
The bar is once again on the ground.
Hotshot fist bumps everybody, and then Alexis thinks to herself, man, Rad really handled that situation well. One day he's going to be a great leader. No.
You are going to be the...
I don't even know what Rad is doing in Energon. I don't even know... He just seems to be around.
He's an eco-anarchist.
He just seems to hang out with the scientist guy. Alexis is the fucking UN ambassador to Cybertron at that point, and Carlos runs a space station around Mars, I think. I think Rad might just be unemployed and hanging around with Dr. Whatever his name is.
Did I not just say he's an eco-terrorist? What do you...
So, I wish him all the best. So now it's time to get into the high drama.
Oh, well,
here.
just one last note before. So they all drive back, and they're still wearing all the accessories they picked up. The Microns are still wearing all the accessories they picked up while they were in hiding, and I think it's really sweet.
It's lovely. I hope the space team have a nice time. They deserve it. So now it's time for Past Part 1. And we start out with a flashback, with at least in the dub, Hotshot is narrating over it, about how there was a battle on Cybertron that went really bad, and he left one of his best friends behind because his commanding officer wouldn't allow him to go back in.
Oh, also, what's the name of the episode first?
Past Part 1.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's Past Preface here.
Oh, that's cool. So we see his buddy Wheeljack is trapped under some wreckage surrounded by a raging inferno. And importantly, we see that the Autobot insignia on his chest has been, scratched.
No, don't have your symbol symbolically scratched out. You're so sexy, haha.
And Wheeljack is like, oh shit, you gotta help me, I'm gonna die. And Hunter's like, I can't lift it. Listen, I'm gonna go get for help. I will be right back, I promise. He's like, don't leave me, hot shot, please. Well, he does leave. But then his commanding officers...
And then Rampage dies.
One of his commanding officers looks weirdly like G1 Wheelie. He literally just gets punched out and is like, no, listen, we're not risking the entire unit for one soldier. He's gone. Get over it.
Specifically because Hot Rod is something of a commander, everyone's like, we specifically need you. Like, we can't afford to lose you. So, fuck off.
You're like the fucking, newest, youth savant commander on the field. We cannot risk you dying in a fire for stupid fucking reasons.
Right.
So, back in the present, a nerd has shown up to Autobase.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
Yeah, so this guy is, calling out to Silverbolt specifically, yeah.
Commander Blur, hello, it's me. I'm Sideswipe. Hello, Mr. Blur.
That's Sideswipe? Okay. That's funny.
Weirdly enough, it is not one word as Sideswipe usually is. It is two words. Sideswipe.
Cool. It's Stepper. His name is Stepper. So Stepper's...
Stepping on the beach.
Yeah, really. Stepper is calling out to Silverbolt and being like, Commander, it's me. And Silverbolt's like, I don't know who that is. And is starting to walk away. And...
I've never seen that jackass before in my life. Get me out of here.
Yeah, and Alexa's like, okay, well, he's calling you by name, so maybe you do know him. Why don't you look again? And Silverbolt looks again and goes, no, I don't know her.
I don't know that guy. I don't hang out with nerds like that. But then, now, if I were Sideswipe, I thought Blur was the coolest motherfucker alive. The thing that I wouldn't want to do would be to say, hey, maybe you forgot, if you'll remember, you found me in perhaps the most embarrassing situation of my entire life and freed me from hanging by a rope by my foot. And also I was negging you about not shooting my foot. I'm Sideswipe. Do you remember me now? And Blur just goes, yeah, I remember you now.
Regrettably. But yeah, I mean, before this happens... Alexa is again like, okay, well, he's obviously calling you by name, and he kind of looks like a nerd, so can we at least bring him into the base? And Silverbolt's like, yeah, I guess, whatever.
Fine. Sideswipe's English voice is so fucking nasally. He is so annoying.
Yeah, well, have fun with that, bud.
He sucks so much. He is... Alright, so let's talk a little bit about one of the most infamous Transformers toys of all time. Which is, of course, Sideswipe. So, he is, widely considered to be one of the worst molds of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And, chiefly, he is so hated because, for some fucking reason, Hasbro kept using it. They kept making retools of this horrible, ugly fucking toy. And it's just the worst. Let me get a shot of this fucking thing. Because, boy, it is ugly. I owned it, by the way, so I know.
I mean, you owned all of these guys.
Not all of them. I never had a Wheeljack as a kid. Here we go. Ugh, look at this fucking thing. Let me link it in Soundwave files for you.
Yeah.
There you go. Just horrible.
That motherfucker's bow-legged.
He is. The legs are so bad.
That's the worst part of it. The arms aren't great, but the legs are nothing.
What even is his Minicon ability? What is this supposed to convey? It makes him long. Is that supposed to be an engine pops out?
Is that what that is?
I guess. It's supposed to be a Power Master thing, but he just his hood comes off and like stretches forward. It's like a fucking wacky racist trick of Dick Dastardly making his car longer to win a race.
Penelope Pitstop would never.
Like, what the fuck is it supposed to be? By the way, do you know his Minicon partner's name?
Oh no, what is it?
Nightbeat.
Oh, fuck off.
That's Nightbeat. Armada Nightbeat is a motorcycle.
I mean, that's at least, I think, fitting for Nightbeat, but fuck off also. Man, it should have been Sunstreaker.
God, that would have been funny. So he's in the base and he's talking to Blur and he's like, I cannot wait to work under you, Commander Blur. I've idolized you since that day. I would love if you mentored me. And Blur just goes,
no heart emoji.
Yeah, no, there's no heart emoji there. It's no, period. Leaves.
Hit him with that no.
Absolutely not. In a weird, also, during the flashback where it shows Blur shooting that rope off of his foot, Carlos says, yeah, nice one, Blur, as if he saw the flashback. Or I guess he's just reacting to shooting a rope.
We're on a lot of levels of meta here.
It's not a hard shot, Carl. I think Carlos might be so dumb he's able to, like, see through the fabric of the show. Like, he's reached a new level of like, fucking... He's got enough of, what is it in Bloodborne? Insight. He's gained a lot of insight over the show. But yeah, so Billy just...
to be fair, his insight was at base 0 when we began.
Oh yeah. So Blur just tells him, please do not talk to me or interact with me. Cringe. Not fucking based. Get out of here. Speaking of based, Billy and Fred, they're gaming.
Yeah, so Billy and Jim have discovered a new way to get better at pro strats for war, which is gaming, as all of us know.
Like a fighting game with some transforming robots that can turn into like jets and tanks and stuff. What a weird concept.
Don't play Call of Duty, kids. That's military propaganda.
Instead, pick up Transformers Forged to Fight, the shitty mobile fighting game. When I saw that trailer, I saw the trailer for that Transformers fighting game, and I was hyped, because, man, I would love that. I love fighting games. I love Transformers. I would play the fuck out of that. And then I realized, oh, man, it's a mobile fighting game. And it's a fucking clone of that Marvel game, Contest of Champions. It's like, god damn it. I can't have anything. Anyway, yeah. That's what they're playing. They're playing Forged to Fight. And Alexis walks in, and she's like... Actually, no, she hasn't walked in yet, because for now we have Sideswipe being very clingy to Blur, and being a clumsy fuck-up.
Yeah.
He trips over his own feet.
I have to say, like, I love this guy. I'm kind of obsessed with him.
He is sort of endearing. And
he's my sad little meow meow.
The nerd affect kind of lessens as this episode and the next part goes on.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, you're definitely supposed to think he's annoying as fuck.
So, by the way, the game system that Billy and Jim are playing is N64 confirmed.
Hell yeah, they're playing N64. They're even, like, holding the controller right and doing the fucking middle stick correctly.
Yeah, so that confirmed. But as Stepper sort of falls over himself, there's a line that gets... so the actual line for all the JoJo fans out there from Silverbolt is yada yada da. Which basically means, like, good grief. And he's not the only one to say it in reference to Stepper this episode. But... yada yada yada, but it gets translated as by the Matrix, which I enjoyed. Thanks again to this translation group. Good stuff.
Yeah, they're all having a lot of fun over there.
Yeah.
So Blur and everyone's talking. Optimus is like, all right, Sideswipe, you need a mentor. It's Blur, Hotshot, and Optimus who are talking. And they're like, all right, Sideswipe needs a mentor. And Blur's like, absolutely, Hotshot, you do it. He's like, wait, what? No. And Optimus is like, actually, that's not a bad idea. You two could learn a lot from each other.
Yeah, Optimus is like, Hot Rod, it's been a while since you've had someone under your command. It's probably good for you to get back into that mindset again. And then we get something that we haven't really seen since G1, and it made my heart smile so much, which is smash cuts that use the Decepticon and Autobot logos to alternate between them, like fucking Batman shit. Like
the best shit.
Like the fucking 1960s, yeah, shit. And it's really funny, because we just get all these cuts of, like, Stepper being a goofy fuck-up, and, again, of Hot Rod going yada yada yada.
So, Optimus definitely has the right mindset for this idea. Blur definitely just wants Sideswipe to leave him alone.
Yes.
Blur does not care. Blur just thinks that kid's too fucking cringe to hang with me. I can't do it. So he Hotshot goes to find Sideswipe and he finds him standing outside in the rain. He's like, "Bro, what are you doing?"
He's like, "Are you crying?"
Are you good, dude?
No, he's like, "Are you crying?" And Zipper's like, "No." And Hot Rod's like, "Bro, are you fucking crying?"
I'm just standing watch. Watch for what? Oh, God. So he's like, "Alright, listen, from here on out, you're under Hotshot's command." And Sideswipe's like, "Great, who's Hotshot?" And Hotshot pauses for him and like, "It's me, fuckhead. Come on. We're gonna do some training." So we get a little training montage. Sideswipe is the worst shot I've ever seen in my life. This
is where all the transitions happen. The Batman ass transitions happen.
So there's a really good moment where he's at the firing range and Hotshot fucking dead centers that target. He's like, "See, it's easy. You just gotta hit the target." And Sideswipe pulls out his pistol and just sort of misses every single shot. And Hotshot's like, "Oh, jeez." He just has like a friendly ribbing of like, "Hey, you're supposed to hit the target, not the wall behind it." And then Sideswipe goes, "Shut up! I'm trying." It's like, "Oh, okay, touchy." Jeez, fine. And he does, to his credit, he does hit the target after just sort of spraying his entire clip in its general direction. So and Hotshot's just like, "Okay, it's not a sharpshooter."
It's pretty easy to get a bullseye when you unleash an entire clip onto it.
Yeah, it's like, "Alright, so not a sharpshooter. Got it. Let's do some driving." They're just doing a lot of training.
Yeah, so they go out driving, and it is a, test of speed, right? So Hot Rod's, very simple, straightforward, let's just see how fast you can go. And Stepper's like, "Yeah, no, I can do that, for sure. I just want you to be proud of me." And Hot Rod's like, "Are you gonna cry again?"
Bro, are you fucking crying? While they're driving, though, some, guy watching them, some car watching them with a weird... Well, actually, yeah, so they drive, they're chilling next to a lake.
Yeah, so there's one part here that I have to... So, Hot Rod's like, "Alright, pretend that, the enemy's in front of us, now get ready to, come out of your racing into, robot mode and attack." And Stepper, transforms from, and, what he yells is "Konoyaro," which kind of means, "You bastard," or look at this bastard, or something like that. It's again Japanese, and especially in terms of insulting curse words and slurs is pretty hard to translate, because there's really not curse words in Japanese so much as increasingly rude ways of saying you.
Right.
So Yaro is one of the more rude ways of saying you, basically. And so he says "Konoyaro," which basically means you asshole or something like that. It gets translated into sub as "you rascal."
You dang rascal.
You rascal. Which is also very funny. And by the time he's like, "Yeah, I got you, you rascal," and by the time he is finished transforming or whatever, like Hot Rod's just looking at him with his gun pointed to his face, and he's like, "Yeah, no, dude, that's not gonna cut it."
Yeah, cut that transforming time down there, my guy.
I do just want to like point this out specifically because this term "kono rascal" gets repeated several times throughout the rest of this episode.
Do they always translate it as rascal?
Yeah, it's always translated as "you rascal."
That's so good.
So, it's pretty funny. So, like, anytime... So, yeah, by the time that Step Bros has finished turning out... Like, Hot Rod's pointing the gun at him, he's like, "You're the rascal!"
So, they're chilling next to a very pretty lake, like a meadow. And Hotshot's just like, "Yeah, so you like that Blur guy, huh, right? He's pretty cool." And then Sideswipe looks at him and goes, "He changed my fucking life." Yeah, in the dub, he literally says, he says, "I was basically born again after Blur saved my life. I was such a fucking nobody dipshit before that, but after that, I decided I'd make something of myself. I'd be a soldier just like Commander Blur."
Homie, it wasn't that real. You got caught in a net.
You were just hanging upside down. He has... Blur is just like, "I've been watching YouTube and I've heard about this parasocial relationship stuff, and I gotta tell you, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, Optimus." So, but Hotshot's just like, "Alright, listen. I get it. Blur's real cool. But you can't go about your life trying to be other people. If you want to make the most of yourself, you gotta go your own path. You gotta figure out what works for you. Alright?" And then he's like, stands up like, "This planet, ever seen a planet this beautiful? This is what we're fighting for, Sideswipe. We're fighting for this planet and all its people so they don't get fucking charred into a cinder by the Decepticons. Never forget that, buddy." And this is when we see a mysterious black sports car watching them from the fucking grassy knoll.
Every step you take, every move you make.
I am starting a new conspiracy theory. Wheeljack killed JFK.
Well, folks,
if you look,
we've been Prime Cuts. You can follow us.
Listen, if you look very closely, you can see a Lamborghini on the grassy knoll with an arm cutting out of it holding a sword that is not a sword. It is a gun.
Podcasting was a mistake, actually.
We'll talk about Wheeljack's weapons in a minute, but I hate them.
They're so stupid!
What are they? Well, regardless, they're back to driving, and Sideswipe's like, "Yeah, have a fun drive. I'm gonna pass you, buddy." And Hotshot's like, "Hey, listen, get behind me. I mean it. You gotta stay in formation. You gotta do what I tell you, okay, buddy? It's not all fun and games. I am still your commanding officer." And I look behind him, and Sideswipe's like, "Hey, there's like a guy following us."
Yeah, and
he's going real fast.
Hot Rod's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, humans have, like, adrenaline rushes, too. Like, sometimes you get these asshole speedsters as well. So, like, it's fine. Just, like, let him do his thing. He'll pass us. We'll move on. It's fine."
Yeah, that's whatever. Don't worry about it. But the mysterious driver doesn't pass us, and while he is sort of pulling up alongside these two, we get a flashback from Wheeljack's perspective where we see what happened after Hotshot was unable to rescue him. And Megatron just sort of walks out of the flames like the devil.
Or like God, a hero, like a fireman rescuing him.
Like a beautiful fireman. And Wheeljack is like, "Yeah, but you forgot about me, didn't you, Hotshot? Well, I'm here to remind you of the fucking past." And he starts doing ninja stunts. So Wheeljack has a particular technique that he loves. Here's what he does. So he will teleport directly behind you and say, "Nothing personnel, kid," and blow your ass away.
Yeah, hey, why the fuck can he do this?
Why can thrust turn intangible? These questions will never be answered.
I was like, a skywarp?
I don't know why he can do this. It would have been really useful if he could teleport when he was trapped under that wreckage, but I guess he hadn't learned how to do that yet.
Yeah, that's what you get after you see Primus for the first time.
Maybe that's why he learned to teleport. He's like, "I'm not gonna get trapped under some stupid fucking rocks again."
Touched by a cyber angel.
Fucking Wheeljack is the edgy ninja version of a born again Christian, I guess.
Yeah, there's your episode title.
There we go. So yeah, he fucking runs Sideswipe off the road. Just fucking gets him out of there, and then he says to Hotshot, no, this is the all-time line. He says, "Hotshot, the Wheeljack you abandoned can't come to the phone right now. You know why? Because he's dead. I've been reborn."
There is, in my mind, an actual incredible shot here. That it's just really cool. Where, so as Rampage is sort of going up on two wheels to get close to Hot Rod, so he like ends up going like right next to Hot Rod, and he has to like get up on his two right wheels to do it. So he's like tilted on his side, speeding along this highway, and there's a shot of his badge, of his Autobot badge, in the reflection of Hot Rod's windshield as he does this, and in the reflection it's purple.
Hell yeah.
And it's a really cool shot, actually. I'm gonna give them a lot of credit for this one.
There's some cool shots in these two episodes. There's also some wonky looking stuff, but I think overall they look pretty good. So yeah, he has sideswipe off the road and into a ravine. And has cornered Hotshot. And he's basically like, "Hotshot, I'm here to bury the hatchet, but only so we can pick up a new hatchet and fight his enemies. We're gonna throw out all our emotional baggage so we can just focus on fucking killing each other."
Yeah, and that they do.
Yeah, so we do also see some brief flashbacks from Hotshot remembering, like, so Wheeljack was entrusted to him to be a subordinate back on Cybertron, obviously paralleling Sideswipe here, and Hotshot took his failure to save Wheeljack extremely personally, and it still haunts him, obviously. And he says as much to Wheeljack, and he's like, "Tough shit. Maybe you should have thought about that before you left me there, before you abandoned me. But guess what? I was found. I was rescued. Megatron found me." And he like smolders and looks to the side, and he says, "My life belongs to Megatron from now on."
Normal.
Bro.
It's normal. What is your problem? It's normal.
So then he pulls out his weapon, and I get mad.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this thing is dumb as fuck. Hey, what if we had a gun? No, that's too cool. What if we had a lightsaber? Also too cool. What if we had a gun that was a lightsaber, but, like, not cool at all?
It's not even a lightsaber. It's just a gun that looks like a sword.
But it's not. It doesn't look like a sword. It looks like a fucking hilt of a sword.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking stick.
It's just it's just the stick. Hey, what are you doing with that club? Going to try to kill me? Better make it hurt. Better make it count. Better do it in one shot.
And then a gun pops out of the club and shoots you.
Yeah. I've been playing Enter the Gungeon, and this feels like something that would be in Enter the Gungeon.
It'd be like a joke weapon.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, alright, so he pulls this thing, and at first I think, oh, he's like a ninja or whatever, he can teleport everywhere. So yeah, he's obviously got like swords or staffs or something. And he points at a Hotshot, and there's like a big square hole in the middle of it. And it's like, what? But he still holds it like a sword. You look like he's pointing a sword at him, but it's a gun.
It's both the like stupidest and also laziest like weapon design I've seen in a long time. It's immensely lazy.
Anyway, he shoots Hotshot.
Yeah.
Or we don't see it, but there's the gunshot noise, and it cuts to black.
Right.
And then we pick up right up with past part 2. What does that even say?
It is past conclusion.
Sounds about right. So we start off right where we left off. Hotshot gets fucking shot in the shoulder, and it seems to be pretty injured.
Yeah, and he's like lying on the ground after, again, immediately after Rampage has gone through this entire like story of why he's a Decepticon now. And he's there, he goes, "Rampage, why?" And it's like, what do you think, asshole? He just told you why. We just had like 5 minutes about this. This is not like rocket science.
Do you need me to repeat the part where my life belongs to Megatron now?
Yeah, do you need to repeat the tutorial? Come on.
He's just very bad at listening. And so yeah, apparently that shot to the shoulder was enough to put Hotshot in the fucking ICU. He wakes up in the fucking medical bay and they straight up say he's in intensive care.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
Yeah, so...
I really don't understand the, like, damage scaling in this show, because they've been shot by jet guns so many times.
Yeah.
But this weird sword cannon...
I know. So...
in the shoulder nearly kills him.
Obviously the power scaling is, like, off, but I think... the explanation, at least, given in the sub, is that because it was at point-blank range...
Right,
it was, like, very
more
powerful.
So the lasers in Armada must have fucking damage ramp up like the heavy in TF2. Where, like, if you shoot them from really far away, they do, like, 1 damage or 2 damage. But if you're really close, they hurt a lot.
They're all shotties.
They all have the damage fall off of a shotgun.
Yeah, they're all
every
shotties.
single one.
So, first of all, one thing I forgot to mention in the last episode is that, Stepper started calling Hot Rod Senpai. And when he wakes up, when Hot Rod wakes up now, Stepper's there with him, and he has moved from calling him Senpai to Dono. Hot Rod Dono. And for anyone who doesn't know the Japanese honorifics, Senpai, I think, is pretty well known, but just in case, is just like an upperclassman or someone who has more experience than you. So it is traditionally used in school settings to talk about upperclassmen. It is used in work settings to talk about someone who's been in a position longer than you have. It's that kind of thing. Dono is one of the most respectful terms that you can use in Japanese. It is equivalent to something like Lord, almost. Like Lord or Master, almost. It was specifically used, largely in, like, samurai times, like in the feudal period, where the feudal lords would be, the shoguns would be referred to as dono almost always. Yeah. So we've gone from senpai to dono.
We're moving fast, but he's like, Hotch, are you okay? I dragged you back here as best I could. You were really hurt. And Hotshot's just sort of like, not really talking, just still thinking about Wheeljack. We cut to the command room, and Blur is talking to Optimus. He's saying, like, yeah, shot was from really point-blank range. It could have killed him, but the guy who shot him clearly wasn't a marksman. So Blur just like, yeah, this guy sucks at shooting. What a fucking dipshit. And Optimus is like, Blur, have I ever told you about Hotshot's traumatic backstory?
Yeah, he's like, first of all, Silverbolt, you're an idiot. Second of all...
let me tell you something, Blur. The reason I noticed Hotshot and decided to take him under my wing was that I heard that he lost a soldier under his command, and he took it very hard. The guilt was crushing him, so I wanted to sort of take him under my wings and try to help him move past that.
Yeah.
That's also why I assigned Sideswipe to his command. And Blur's like, damn, what a sad backstory.
Thanks for telling me. This is
Thanks
probably
for telling me, I guess.
This is probably a HIPAA violation.
Yeah, I don't know why you tell me all this. I mean, I feel like it should be between you and Hotshot and maybe Red Alert. I don't know if he's like a registered therapist or not. He seems to be doing everything else around here. But listen, the guy who shot him really sucked at shooting.
Galactic girls make do.
So, while Optimus is saying this, Hotshot is also telling Sideswipe all about Wheeljack, and he is still like...
He's like...
Listen, it is literally, like, I don't care what Wheeljack said, this is still all my fault. I could have gone back and I could have helped him, but I was too fucking cowardly.
Yeah, he's like, my boy! I abandoned my boy!
Yes. And his commanding officer, I believe, is G1 Sureshot? Either Sureshot or Cross. I think it's Crosshairs, actually. Some extremely obscure G1 kid. He's like, alright, listen, if you fucking walk through that fire, you get a court-martial, motherfucker. Absolutely not. And Hotshot backs and gives him a salute and is like, I'll accept whatever consequences. I'm not abandoning my boy.
It's great. In the Japanese, he gives the salute, and says in English, "Yes, sir,"
Yeah,
and then goes into the fire.
This Kadogawa's just like, wait, but he couldn't make it. He could not make it through the fire. Too hot, too big, and then Megatron got to him first, and the rest is history. So, one detail we forgot to mention in the last episode, because it barely counts as a B plot. It's just like it's 2 or 3 scenes. Alexis has become a gamer.
Oh, well, this is where it actually becomes... she starts doing it, but this is actually where it becomes present. But before we get to her, like, becoming a gamer, Optimus looks... after finishing telling this to Silverbolt, he says, I think knowing the relationship between Rampage and Hot Rod, that Rampage was trying to do him a favor here by helping him let go of his past. And I'm like, no, Optimus, I don't think that's actually what's going on this one. I think he's just pissed off.
Optimus wants to see the best in people.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I agree that I think he wasn't trying to shoot him fatally, but I don't think he was doing it for Hot Rod's benefit. I think, I think he's pretty pissed off.
I do agree that he needs to let go of the past in this guild, Optimus, but I don't think Wheeljack also thinks that.
Yeah. But then we cut over to where Billy and Jim have been continuing to game, and Alexa is now like, when I say gamer, you say girl, gamer, girl, gamer, girl.
Girl. Yeah, she's entered like a gaming fugue state. She's just playing. She's just getting the fucking high scores. Billy and Fur are like, God damn, look at this, look at her go. She's the best gamer in the world.
She's a pinball wizard.
And then Sideswipe runs into the command room and says, hey, Hotshot's gone. And Optimus goes, oh dear. Uh-oh. He went to go find Wheeljack. And so we cut out. Hotshot is indeed driving towards this... I don't know how he knows where to find Wheeljack, but he drives to this like abandoned industrial park. This rusted up old like wrecked factory.
Yeah.
He is also spotted by Thrust, who is just hanging around, I guess, seeing the sights. He's like, "Oh look, got a lonely little Autobot. I wonder where he's going. I'll just hang back and watch. Let me just see where this goes."
Yeah, delightful.
Woo, how fun! So he meets Wheeljack, and Wheeljack is like, "This this old, abandoned, rusted out, fucking junk ass piece of shit place that no one cared about and probably burned down. Do you get it, Hotshot? It's like me. I'm the factory, Hotshot. It's me." He's like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Your eyes are a factory. Your breasts are also a factory.
And Hotshot's just like, look, Wheeljack, I never meant to abandon you. I'm so sorry. And Wheeljack's like, no, we're past that shit. I'm just here to kill you.
Yeah, well,
and then,
what's really interesting is that they have this conversation, and Rampage is like, we were always destined to do this, whether we were on, Autobots, Decepticons, it doesn't matter. We were always destined to fight each other like this. And Hot Rod's like, well, it does matter. Like, these things do matter. And Rampage is like, they don't, though. Like, there's barely any difference between the Autobots and Decepticons. They basically, neither of them knows what they're fighting for. None of this matters. War isn't about ideology. It's about capitalism. Anyway, I'm going to beat you to death.
He has a fucking Metal Gear monologue.
I mean, he doesn't say explicitly that war isn't about ideology, it's about capitalism, but he says, like, there is basically no difference between the Autobots and Decepticons, and it doesn't, like, the ideology doesn't matter. No one, like, knows why we're fighting this war, and regardless of what we believe in, we were always destined to fight each other like this.
Hotshot. Do you know what I saw when I went into space? No borders.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish this was a fucking duel in a field of white flowers. Instead, it's a duel in a shitty factory. But however, Hotshot does do some pretty hard shit here. Wheeljack pulls out his stupid sword gun. And he's like, alright, time to finish. Alright, well, get ready to fight. And then Hotshot just like slowly walks forward, grabs it, and points it right at his chest. And he says, just do the job right this time. Finish it. You're a Decepticon now, right? It's your duty. Damn.
Yeah. Literally, like, Thrust is watching all of this, by the way, and Thrust is like, damn, they're beating your ass in the quote retweets.
Ooh, nice line. So, yeah, they start fighting. Wheeljack notices that, like, Hotshot is not fighting back. So he tries to get him riled up, so he actually makes sport of it, all that sort of thing. At some point, he, like, helps him up just to punch him in the face.
Yeah, they're beating your ass in the quote retweets.
That felt like something that would happen in the fucking Metal Gear Solid 4 end boss fight, almost. That's what I thought of when I said
this is just MGS now, it's fine.
It is. Then right as he is doing, saying that hard ass shit about, like, yeah, fucking finish the job, unless you're too much of a coward to do it. Prove to me that you're a fucking Decepticon, Wheeljack. Prove to me prove to me that the Wheeljack I knew was dead. And then Sideswipe shows up and starts a fire.
Match or don't.
So he literally just like, he's like, oh, I got you, Hotshot. And he just starts firing wildly with his pistol.
So when he shows up, by the way, in the Japanese, he, like, transforms out, says Kono Yaro again. You rascal. And
Thrust is just like, why is he calling that man a rascal?
Wait, says,
what's going on?
You rascal, and then says, get away from my senpai.
There's some wheels to go, wait, what?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, he blows up the factory, and Wheeljack is like, nostalgia. Time to take this nerd hostage.
Snake Eater starts playing.
Let's make it the best 15 minutes of our life, Jack. So,
stay tuned for our Prestige MGS podcast coming up after this.
We could do it.
We could.
So, yeah, he fucking takes Sideswipe hostage, and he's like, yeah, if you want to find me, you gotta walk through the flames. And he shoots Hotshot in the leg, just to make it harder. Just to be a dick.
And again, Thrust is watching all of this still, and he watches Hot Rod struggle, and he goes, ooh, like a moth towards the flame. And it's like, oh, you're so clever, Thrust. Great, thank you.
He's just a fucking freak, just watching all of this happen. He's the fucking Greek chorus, for a while anyway. Then he decides to get directly involved. But first, Wheeljack chains Sideswipe up and is like, Hotshot's not gonna come for you, right? He's gonna abandon you, just like he did me.
Oh, really? It's the exact opposite in the sub. Because what he says is, he's like, don't worry, Hot Rod will definitely come to save you, and then the two of you can die together. Like, I know that he's feeling so guilty about his shit that he's going to try to rescue you no matter what. And then both of you will die here together.
See, I like that angle way more.
Right?
So, Hotshot's dragging himself through this fire here. Thrust decides to be a maximum dick here.
This is so funny, though.
And just starts strafing him for no reason. It's like, time to get involved. And then Wheeljack says, don't interfere with my duel, and shoots him out of the sky.
So, does he say it to Thrust? Does, like, Thrust know that it was him?
Yes.
Okay, that is not the case in the sub.
God,
yeah.
There's a line at the end of the episode that is so much funnier with Thrust knowing that it was Wheeljack.
Yeah, I imagine so, but, like, I mean, I think Thrust, like, figures it out, but, like, Rampage wasn't announcing it. He just sort of, like, sees him and, like, shoots him out. And I love this because it, like, calls back to a really classic moment in G1 that was almost included in Bumblebee, and I'm really bummed it got cut out. Where Starscream gets also shot in the thruster, which is how Thrust gets shot and sort of, like, weaves out. And in G1, Starscream goes, ouch, my foot!
Yes.
It kind of
was that in fucking? Is that in the movie when he's trying not to get crushed by Autobot City?
So, it's before that. There's in the beginning of Bumblebee, in those first 5 minutes, there's a point where that got cut, but when Soundwave goes Decepticons attack and Starscream, Thundercracker, and I think Dirge take to the sky.
Hi, Mom, I'm on the movie.
Yeah.
Look, it's me. I didn't die in this one. Aren't you proud of me?
Yeah. There was going to be a part that Travis Knight wanted to include it where Starscream got hit and then said, "Ouch, my foot."
That's excellent. You know, Travis Knight's a real cool name for a guy to have.
Yeah, especially a guy who does cool movies like him.
Yeah. So Thrust gets owned. Wheeljack kind of climbs up this smokestack. Is like, ah, man, that guy fucking sucks. What an annoyance. And he goes, uh-oh, because Megatron is up there. And he's like, so, this is what...
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And it's like, so... You've been fucking around down here this whole time? We need to have a little chat about your extracurricular activities, Wheeljack.
Time to find out.
Yep. You've been fucking around a lot, Wheeljack. I think it's about time you found out. So they teleport away. Hotshot rescues Sideswipe, and they get thrown clear by the explosion of the fucking factory.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
And they're like dragging... Is it Hotshot who, like, passes out and Sideswipe has to, like, drag him out of the fire?
No, it's the opposite. It's the
around?
opposite.
Okay, so... Yeah, and then Sideswipe wakes up and is like, you saved me! And he starts crying. He's like, you saved me, Hotshot. Oh, I'm so scared. Thank you so much. And then Hotshot's like, listen, I'm never gonna leave anyone behind again. That ain't me no more. I'm past that. I'm grown.
Yeah. And they get back to the Autobot base, and my last note here is that after all of their experiences together, we've gone from Senpai to Dono, and it's time to take it to the next level. Because Stepper looks at a Hot Rod and says, "Thank you, Aniki."
Yep, he calls him bro in the dub.
Yeah.
And Hotshot's like, oh, hey, bro, what's all this bro business? That's a little fast. He's like, but Sideswipe's just like, I consider you family now. And then he chases him around the base.
Yeah. Love me, love me, why don't you love me?
And Alexis is like, awakens from her, like, gaming feud. It's like, I got the high score. What's going on back there? But there's one more scene I want to talk about, because it's up on the moon.
Yes.
And... we cut out there, Megatron's like, well, you know, despite your side activities, I'm glad to have you here, Wheeljack.
Despite everything, it's still you.
And then it cuts to the reverse shot, and Wheeljack is sitting there looking very awkward next to a bandaged up Thrust who says, you know, Megatron, I don't think we should let this guy join the team. He's fucking crazy. Look what he did to me. And Megatron just tells him to shut up.
Yeah, he's like, I refuse to let this guy join the team. It's inconceivable, and I will protest it with my entire body. And Megatron's like, then do it. And Thrust is like, okay, good talk.
Welcome to the team, Wheeljack.
Yeah.
When I say he's literally bandaged up, his arm is in a sling, his fucking cone head is in a cast.
Robots, folks.
Yeah, but it's really good because he's saying, I was like, look what he did to me. And Megatron just tells him to go, be quiet, Thrust. And Thrust just goes, oh, okay. And that's the last you hear of him. Thrust is gonna go post about that on his vent account.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I like is that Alexis, like, comes out of her gaming fugue state and goes, man, maybe I should cut down on the gaming. I get way too into it. Which makes me think she will be an esports celebrity at some point.
That's how she gets the votes to be president.
The world's first... Alexis D. Dang, the world's first gamer president.
Yeah. She's not the world's first woman president. She's the first gamer girl president.
Exactly. So that's the episodes. We got Wheeljack here, we got Sideswipe here. Like I said, this is basically... the endpoint of the cast. There's like a couple more characters who show up briefly, but for the most part, this is who we're working with.
Yeah.
It's interesting how much Thrust has become the go-to Decepticon villain for episodes. Like, I feel like I haven't seen much of Demolisher, Starscream, or Cyclonus at all lately.
Yeah.
Like, we see Starscream at the end of this episode, but he's straight up not in the first one, I don't think. Or like, he's in the background, maybe.
So 2000 and late.
Yeah, it's time for Thrust to take the fucking spotlight. But don't, Starscream fans, don't you worry. We've got some things coming up. Yeah, stay tuned, because shit's gonna get real wild with him very shortly.
Yeah, Christ.
Anyway,
love that guy.
We got questions.
Yahoo!
We have one on Twitter, actually.
Okay.
It is from Steven at Marshmallow, who asks, for any job that you've had, which Transformer would you want as your coworker, as your boss? Those are two separate questions.
Whew. Okay.
I would not want Thrust as either.
I would want Megatron as my coworker for when I worked in publishing, because he at least is interested in literature.
That's true, he is. He's a poet.
Yep. And then for my boss, I think Rung would be a good boss in any situation.
Yeah, he seems like he's got his head on his shoulders. Well, haha, sometimes he doesn't, because he got it blown off.
Right.
Fortress Maximus. He's fine, though. He lived.
I think...
Somehow.
I think Ultra Magnus would also be a good boss, probably.
I think he'd be too micromanagey.
Probably, but I think, yeah. But yeah, so I would say Rung for my boss in any situation. I'd say Megatron for my coworker in publishing, and then since I've moved to the non-profit world, so I work specifically in Jewish non-profit, so maybe like sorry, not Sunstreaker, Sunstorm would be fun. So get that religious angle in for
You'd get a lot of religious angle with Sunstorm,
yeah,
all right.
Get that religious angle in with Sunstorm. Or maybe like Drift. Drift has some of that like good religious.
Right, he's like a spiritual
really
guy.
spiritual guy. And I don't know, probably like maybe like Beachcomber or Hound, just because I think they would have a good grasp on the work I actually do.
Beachcomber can get you that good stuff too. You get you that nice weed.
Yeah, well,
he grows it.
It's not weed related, but it is like very hippie shit. So I think like
that's just sort of a perk of knowing Beachcomber.
Yeah.
He just gives you fucking like a vacuum bag full of the stuff. It's like the size of a baby.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I feel I worked in retail a lot, and when I was younger. I feel like I'd want Ratchet because we could, bitch about customers behind the in the break room. Plus, he seems like he knows what he'd be doing. He's a wise guy. Obviously, most of this is being pulled from the IDW 1 incarnations. My boss, my pop filter fell off when I said that. My pop filter is anti. I'm just gonna leave it off. I'm not gonna bother putting it back on. It'll take too long.
It's a union mic.
So Union Mike doesn't want to support any boss talk. Jeez, boss, Starscream.
Really? You want to take commands? You want to take orders from Starscream?
I think Starscream would let me get away with a lot of shit. I think Starscream would be able to he cut some corners, fudge some numbers. If he doesn't care about the bottom line. He just cares about stuff getting done at the end of the day.
I don't know, man. As someone who worked for an abusive boss, I don't trust like that for Starscream.
Now, of course, he would be arrested about 3 months into my stint at the job for some form of fraud. So, it would be a short-lived working relationship, but it would be an interesting one.
Unrelated to the job. It's
completely unrelated.
Yeah.
And let's see. I like this second one. Unrelated, but if you were a mob boss, which Transformer do you trust to make a made man? Cyclonus.
Yeah. Cyclonus is, like, kind of stupidly loyal. And Soundwave.
Yeah, Soundwave, perfect Mafia lieutenant.
Yeah,
Quiet,
I mean, that
loyal, knows where to hide a body.
that literally is Soundwave in basically every incarnation.
Has a bunch of goons.
Has a bunch of goons? Yeah, no, Soundwave is the perfect choice.
Yep, actually, I do change my answer to Soundwave. A lot would get done if Soundwave were around here, I'll tell you what. How about you take us through these Discord questions?
Okay, sure. Let me find the right comlink. Stop. Okay. From Cascarachnia. Any cool variations of 3 kids in a trench coat that y'all have seen, like in real life?
I've never seen that in real life, and I'm struggling to think of a, like, interesting, depiction of it in fiction.
I mean, I think the classic one for me is E.T.
Oh, yeah. Like, any sort of disguising an alien or robot or whatever as a human that's a good bit. That never gets old.
Which human sidekick of the Autobots would hold up best in a Home Alone situation? Carlos.
Really? You think so?
Just because he has that energy.
Yeah. Sheer dumb luck.
I think Carlos is the most evil of the 5 of them.
Yeah, he would make the the fucking nail on the stairway trap.
There's a dark side. There's a deep darkness in Carlos.
That's why he and Red Alert get along so well.
Yeah.
There's that sort of dark side to them. Yeah, I mean, if we extend this to all of them, I think we do have a textual answer to that. Sorry, Sumdac.
Oh yeah,
has a Home Alone-esque episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Where she does fight 2 robots heavily inspired by Joe Pesci and what's the other guy? Daniel something or other. But like, she literally does a Home Alone and quite well.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Barring that, I would also say probably Spike Witwicky would probably do pretty well, just because he's a mechanic.
Yeah, and his head is protected at all times.
So. And then finally from Cass, thoughts on human minds being transferred into Cybertronian bodies? Bad. Don't do it.
Never works good.
Don't do it. Look at Headmasters and see how that works out for you.
Let me just point you to a little guy named Hunter and his buddy Sunspeak.
Yeah, the 2 best friends in the world and the fun times they have together.
And of course, there was that entire fucking episode in G1 where Spike got hurt. They put his mind into a Cybertron body, and he like had a horrible existential crisis about it.
Yeah, or you can just play the video game Soma.
Yep. Listen, there's just they are not compatible in that way. They can share a consciousness, like, you know, with certain headmaster variations in fiction. But you never want to put the brain in the robot. Doesn't work. Goes bad at all junctions.
Yeah. Okay. From Hornmeister. Is there a Transformer who would be comfortable to live in? Like maybe one that turns into some kind of camper/RV? Which character from Armada would you choose to live in? I mean, like Skyfire is a shuttle.
Yeah, but that's not really that's like a he's good for transportation, but I don't know if you could live in him. I have an answer, but it's animated spoilers, so I won't say it.
Fair enough. And
as for Armada Transformers, honestly,
Tidal Wave,
Smokescreen's interior, that's cheating. He's too big.
No,
I guess
it's not. It's not cheating. Tidal Wave rules, and I would live in my houseboat.
Which one? These 3 different houseboats.
Yeah, so I switch between them. I have a fleet of yachts. What do you want from me?
Hell yeah. You know, Smokescreen's interior looked surprisingly plush in that one episode, honestly. Like, for a fucking construction crane, it looked pretty comfy.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I could hang out with Smokescreen, you know. Are there any, like, camper RV Transformers?
Not that I can think of.
There's gotta be at least one somewhere in there.
Not that I can think of.
I'll do research.
Yeah, see what you come up with.
Fucking Winnebago-tron. Would he be an Autobot or a Decepticon, or would he be a unsighted?
With Tron, it would be Decepticon.
That's true.
From Overlord Bunny, what clothes do you associate with each Transformer? Like, would Optimus wear a jean jacket? So I actually associate Optimus with a bomber jacket.
Yeah. Like a bomber jacket, like a trucker cap,
or like almost a varsity jacket. Actually, like I always have him like in my head with it's like football captain attire. That
definitely fits for animated Optimus for sure.
But like a bomber jacket, yeah.
Hot Shot, ever since in IDW they just had Rodimus's Hollow Matter avatar literally be Judd Nelson in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
All Hot Rods and Rodimuses are Judd Nelson to me. There's the fucking the Megatron Hollow Matter avatar of the like sexy evil gentleman is very funny, but I don't really associate that with most Megatrons.
Yeah, I associate Megatron with like sharp military uniform.
Yeah, like a fucking like well-kept dress uniform with a bajillion medals on it.
Yeah.
Starscream is a glove with a hidden knife in it. That's what I associate with him.
Starscream is all stilettos, baby.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest thing I associate with Starscream are stiletto boots.
Especially in Prime.
Yes, well, where they just gave him stiletto boots. Very funny stuff, folks. Stupid, sexy Starscream.
Yeah, obviously, like a hard hat for fucking Smokescreen and Armada.
Yeah.
Hard hat and a big cigar. I feel like Smokescreen should be able to smoke fat stogies. Like Cup.
Yeah.
With his fucking cigars.
Fucking hate this shit.
Excellent stuff.
I mean, I associate Ratchet with Scrubs.
Obviously. Or, a smock covered in blood from his death traps that he makes. In this one, anyway.
Still Scrubs.
Yep. Just well-used Scrubs.
Yeah. Listen.
Well-worn.
And what about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, this next. No, I think that's about it for clothes.
From Spike. Spike McLean. What Decepticons would you want as a coworker? We kind of already answered this.
I said Starscream was my boss, not my coworker.
That's true.
Different relationship there.
I would want Swindle as my coworker just because I think he'd be funny.
Oh my god.
I think he'd be really funny.
Oh, fuck, that'd be really good. Yeah, Swindle. Because, like, so many of them would be the worst to hang out with.
Swindle, at least I could go into, like, a break room with and know he has a flask on him at all times. What'll it cost me to drink from that flask? Impossible to say, but I could do it.
Maybe IDW Thundercracker. We could just talk about movies.
Yeah.
Hang out. He showed me pictures of his dog.
Skywarp would also be fun. God, but it would be really funny if Thundercracker and Skywarp are your coworkers and Starscream's all of your bosses. What a terrible trine. Jesus.
Terrible.
God.
Skywarp just pulls a bunch of fucking workplace pranks. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Well, I would hang out with Thundercracker. He's like one of the few Decepticons I would buddy up with.
Yeah, Thundercracker's just nice. I like Thundercracker. He's just nice.
He's just a good boy.
Soundwave would...
He watched all of television and said, wow.
Soundwave would also be a good coworker.
Yeah, because he's quiet.
Yeah.
He'll leave you alone.
Yeah, if nothing else.
But the problem with Soundwave is, what we know that Soundwave likes to do?
Spy on people.
Collect blackmail.
Yeah, well, I mean...
He would know everything about you just from watching.
But he's also always on the side of the proletariat.
That's true.
So, I think he would use that against the boss, not against me, his coworker. Yep. And then as a follow-up to that from Overlord Bunny, which Autobot would be the worst customer?
Whirl. It's Whirl.
I actually think Hot Rod would be.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many Autobots who would be terrible customers.
Rodimus would
Most
suck.
of them are on the Lost Light.
Yeah. Like, classic Sunstreaker? Mirage would be terrible, holy shit.
Oh man, Mirage would be the guy who fucking brings up his food order 5 different times because he finds something new wrong with it. And he's like, I'm going to give you a poor Yelp review for this.
Yeah.
Like, God damn, I just want to go home, man. I get paid like $3 an hour for this bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, Mirage would be the worst. That's I'm putting that down. Mirage would be the worst.
Yeah, Mirage. Just a horrible, horrible man.
And then, finally, from Casey Cosmotector, what funny disguise do you don to get into an establishment? I wear my, straight pride pins.
How do you do, fellow heterosexuals? Hot dog suit.
Oh, actually, I just wear my she/her name tag or whatever. So everyone's like, yes, I am a cis.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. It's me, the cisgender person, Audrey. As you can see from my pronouns, not that pronouns.
As you can see from my name tag.
Not that pronouns to mark gender, but yes.
I would simply pass every charisma check with flying colors. I can get it anywhere. I can get into the fucking missile base if I wanted to. I can just like flash a fucking like buy one get one free snow cone card and say I have the security clearance, and they'll just let me through. It's fine. Actually, no, it's Groucho Marx glasses. I gotta go with the classic.
Oh yeah.
Those can get you in anywhere.
And I think that's
cuts. We have been prime cuts. Remember, everyone, never work for Starscream or work with Skywarp. It's just not a bad crowd to run with.
Just avoid Skywarp.
We are a part,
unless you're rock and roller.
just sort of give him a wide berth. We're on the Noise Space.xyz network. That's right. It's Canadian.
Like I am.
You can find we can find all sorts of shows on there. For anything you want, you got like Gundam. Oh, go listen to Wow Cool Robot. You like the DC Extended Universe or hate the DC Extended Universe? Go listen to 0 to 0. Like horror movies, got Fear Baiting right there. It's got everything. What more could you need? You don't need another podcast network. And if I see you using another one, there will be consequences.
Not that we have good friends who podcast in at least 2 other networks. Don't worry about it.
That's fine because we have connections to them. So, podcasting is very corrupt use.
Yeah, if you use another network, you're unforgivable. We're different.
I will have Soundwave, my enforcer Soundwave, send his small angry men to punch you in the kneecaps. They punch really hard. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher, where I'm posting about all sorts of things. And you can find some of my other projects in various places, like the finished podcast I did with my friend Jane on the 2018 She-Ra Netflix show. That's called The Podcast of Power. You can find that at Podcast of Power on Twitter. You can find our next project, which should be spinning up pretty soon, since the game is going back on sale next week, at Heidelin Radio on Twitter, Radio Free Heidelin, the comprehensive Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast. And I'm also on Disney Minus at Disney Minus at Disney Minus Pod on Twitter, where I am just sort of desperately crawling my way through the muck of the mouse. The latest episode will be on Freaky Friday, but unfortunately I'm not on that one because when I woke up in the morning to record, my headphone driver deleted itself. So,
Neat!
It does that sometimes. Thanks, Windows Updates. You're so useful. Thanks, Bill. You made a great product here, Mr. Gates. That's me.
Cool. I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr and Twitter at Optimum on Prime, which is my funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcast that I do. It's called Pot of Greed. It's also on the Noise Space Network. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! Where we're in Season 3 of GX. People are dying, and it's great.
It's normal.
And
you're almost coming up to the part that they was too violent. They literally couldn't dub it.
I also recently guested on a friend's Pot of Greed, Dirk Dammit, aka Jordan, podcast called Mission Ignition, which is about a very poorly made 90s series called Vampires, which is about, it was sort of like a Power Ranger show, but instead of turning into Power Rangers, the teen heroes turn into cars.
Oh, hell yes.
And it's called Vampires, and they have to defeat evil vampires, and all the, like, vampires are really bad CGI. So it's like if, like, Power Rangers met Beast Wars, and it's all bad. It's all very bad.
Dear.
So I was on an episode of that, which you should check out. And that's me. So I guess until next time, I am going to go down, down, down into a burning ring of fire, transform and roll out.
I am going to transform, lead the sort of wacky, blundering bandits pursuing me into a brutal trap of my own making, causing, a fucking frying pan full of bacon grease to fall on their heads or something, and then I will laugh and roll out.
Peach.
Peach.